kan asseblief
Hashim, both innings you were out by Ashmal. As in the second innings you made a bigger score. Was it because you started to get used to him and could pick him easily?
Well, I think that first and foremost he bowled really well in the game. I mean, to pick up 10 for any bowler is a is a really good effort. I think as the game went on, I think most of us kind of understood his bowling a bit more. We haven't faced him a hell of a lot, but fortunately we weren't chasing a massive total. So I think on a personal note, I managed to hang in there long enough just to get the guys close enough.
And in context, he got the top 5 in the top order in the first innings. How, in context, what did you think of Robbie P's innings?
Yeah, as we know, Robbie P, his innings was basically the difference. We all know the kind of work that Robbie P has put in behind the scenes. And I think everybody was really excited that the way he played, the amount of confidence that he oozed while he was batting, as well as his contributions to the ball. So, he's really become a player in his own right, and hopefully there's more excitement for him to follow.
Do you think for him he could play with more freedom in a way? There was he wasn't analysing as much. Why do you think he was able to do that no one else was?
Well, Robbie is that kind of player where he's best when he's playing attackingly. I think if you follow him on Twitter, it's Robbie Flair, and it's there for a reason. And we've always felt that, and we know that Robbie's got this spark in him, that he can produce amazing stuff. And fortunately for us, he did that the other day.
Okay, one last one. So, and is this the first time you've really been tested this summer? Do you feel?
Yeah, it has been. Dean Elgar was making a joke. He said every test match he's played so far has only gone 4 days. He hasn't basically played a 5-day game. But I think, going on from the Australia series, I think that was quite a tough series. So we had some really challenging matches there. We know the Adelaide test was probably the most nerve-wracking of them all. But this test as well was really, took us to our limits in certain respects. We were, under pressure in our first innings and see Robbie P's innings, and chasing 190 is never an easy total. And the way the bowlers had bowled in the third innings for us really managed to set the game up.
Is it a bit of a concern that a lot of the top order batsmen have got in and then got out making 50s? Obviously, AB's the only one who's got 100. Is that a bit of a concern?
No, I don't think it's much of a concern, to be quite honest with you. You got to look at everybody's innings in the context of the game. It wasn't a very easy wicket to bat on in the first innings for both teams. And I just think as the series goes on and with one more game to go, I wouldn't look too much into it, to be quite honest.
And Irfan in Centurion, do you think he'll be more effective?
Well, we don't know. Let's see what the wicket's like. Obviously, if he had played in Wanderers, for example, with a lot of bounce, then we can say it would have been effective. But in Centurion, let's wait and see what the wicket's like. If it's got a bit of pace and bounce, then I think all seamers come into play a bit more.
Was he impressive? Were you impressed by his bowling?
Yeah, I think he bowled quite well. It's not often you face somebody so tall. He's got a lot of bounce, but in a way, fortunately, we face Morne regularly in the net, so we kind of have a inkling of what it's like. But he did bowl well, and he seemed to have good control. Test cricket is quite a difficult domain, so coming back in your fourth and fifth spells is always a challenge. And I think probably in his career he'll learn more about that.
Speaking of Morne, he's obviously out and presents Rory with another chance. Just thoughts on him being out and on Rory, and obviously Kyle Abbott's also called up.
Well, Rory's been, since he came into the team. His first game didn't go as well as he'd like, but he certainly has become a integral part of the team whenever somebody's been injured, he's come in and made big plays for us. We know against New Zealand, he bowled really well. I think everybody in the team knows that he's a quality performer. Excuse me. I think, Morne not playing the next game. Fortunately, it's the series is sealed, so there's a bit of less pressure on having to get him ready and maybe even playing him half fit or whatever the case is. But I think this gives a lovely opportunity for Rory to cement his position as being one of the leading bowlers in the country.
And then also just sort of speak about the mindset of the team. You've obviously won the series with 2-1. Is that kind of part of where this team's going to keep them under the thumb and from a mental point of view?
Well, of course, every test match is very important. As a team, we want to be winning every game, and I think going into the last game now, we'll be looking to do the same. As we mentioned earlier, a lot of us in the top order have got in and haven't made massive contributions. So I'm sure a lot of us are hungry to do that. And the bowlers have quite enjoyed the wickets as well. So I'm sure they're wanting to keep on that vein. So I think there's a lot to play for still. We know our team and the country is a very proud nation. So we have a duty to uphold without a doubt.
Ash, the team has been clinical in recent matches. I mean, it's hard to find any weaknesses. You just mentioned the batting now. I mean, are there any other areas that you think need attention?
No, I can't think of any other one at the moment. I think it crosses my mind that's really clearly not.
Just coming back to you as far as you're concerned, I mean, you seem to be reluctant to take over the captaincy, but at the same time you're vice captain. Can you just explain that? I mean, a lot of people have been asking about.
Oh, well, I'm not vice captain for the test matches. The AB, so the one day. Well, maybe at a later stage, when the one day start again, I'll probably give it a little more thought. But for now, just concentrate on the test matches.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.